How do you think this impacts debate about the budget, taxes, and everything else in the U.S. and when that happens? You know, Mike Johnson was talking about that all happening in the month of May. In fact, he thought this could get the whole thing done by May. I imagine that gets pushed out now. And therefore, what does that do to the rest of the questions about uncertainty and the like as this year plays out?
This goes back to everything everywhere all at once. Would it have been better to have bedded down the budget, bedded down Mexico, bedded down Canada, maybe tariff China, and then go after one by one? Absolutely. In my view, that's not what the administration has chosen to do. I think it makes a budget deal harder to the extent Republicans are taking tough votes and they're looking to the president and the president's popularity. To the extent this has increased that volatility.
Sure. What do you think is winning inside the administration? Because there are these two schools of thought, right? There is the sort of Navarro school of thought. Maybe you put even Howard Lutnick in that camp, that this is about trying to get manufacturing to come back to the United States, maybe raising some revenue from those countries that are going to be importing stuff, obviously that's coming from Americans. And that there's another view that this is a negotiating tactic and that this is a chess piece to change the rules. Which is it?
I don't think it's either. I think Trump was relatively clear. President Trump was relatively clear that this was his view of the world, and this is what he's doing. I mean, this is a strategy. It's not the strategy many of us would have employed, but whether it is effective or not remains to be seen. It does increase the risk profile. That's not a gamble I would have taken from the position we had. Having said that, short-term uncertainty, that's the risk. Longer-term brand, that's the risk. And the propensity for a financial accident has definitely gone up, but we just don't know yet. I come back to the ultimate goal, and if you go around the various camps, the various factions, it's hard to deny that the U.S. has not put its best foot forward on trade. Like, give us an A as an economy for allocation of capital and construction of assets, and give us a C for understanding trade and its impact on labor. And to do it and to fix it all at once is a really ambitious undertaking.
But here's the other question, and we were talking about this earlier in the broadcast, the idea of just the labor arbitrage. If you get to 0-0, right, if you really do get to 0-0, then there's the question just what does labor cost? And invariably, labor in the U.S. is, I imagine, in most places going to cost more than it is in a lot of other places.
Andrew, we are not going to make sneakers in the U.S. We have 4% unemployment. We're building all these other things. To the extent we do not want massive amounts of immigration, we are not going to be the low-cost manufacturing center for low-value goods. We will have relationships that allow us to do that.
Right.
What is being called into question is whether that relationship is with China, or whether that relationship is with Mexico, or Vietnam, or Indonesia, or someplace else. And I think time will tell as to how these things sort out. China is its own category as a strategic competitor to the U.S., and the EU, the primary issue cited by the president, is non-trade barriers.